Okay, for this video, we're looking at converting between metric and imperial. So either starting with a metric unit and ending up at an imperial one, or vice versa. So we have our equivalencies at the top there. So we know 2.54 centimeters is the same as 1 inch. 0.9144 meters is about the same as 1 yard, and 1.6093 kilometers is approximately equal to 1 mile. Our first example there, I chose 113 kilometers because one time I was driving down in the States, and so I had my GPS on because I didn't really know where I was going. And one thing that a GPS will do is it shows you what the speed limit is for the road that you're driving on, which is very helpful because sometimes we miss the signs and stuff, especially if we're trying to navigate. Anyway, so it popped up as 113 kilometers an hour, and I was like, why? Why is that such that's such a random speed limit? And honestly, I was driving for probably an embarrassingly long time before I was like, oh duh, it's in miles. Anyway. So let's find out what the speed limit actually was, because no, they didn't just choose 113 kilometers an hour to be the speed limit. So we're going to take our 113 kilometers, and since we're going to miles, we are going to divide. So we have 1.6093 kilometers in 1 mile. So one hint to know when you're dividing is when the units you're using are the same. So you've got kilometers and we're dividing by kilometers. That's how we're going to end up with miles. So when we divide that out, we get a 70.22 miles. So probably the posted speed limit was 70 miles per hour. Okay, for our next example, we have 4 feet and we want that in centimeters. Now first, we're going to look up at the top and see that we don't actually have feet and centimeters together. What centimeters goes with is inches, and so we're going to have to think back to our imperial conversion and use that first. So the first thing I'm going to do is say 4 feet multiplied by 12 inches per foot gives me 48 inches. Okay, so then once I know that there are 48 inches in 4 feet, I can go back and be like, oh, okay, now I can turn those into centimeters. So I've got 48 inches. I'm multiplying by 2.54 centimeters because every inch has 2.54 centimeters in it. So that's 48 groups of that. So that's why we're multiplying. But again, a trick is, since I'm starting with inches and I'm multiplying by centimeters, those units are different, so we're multiplying. So when we multiply that out, we get 121.92 centimeters. So 4 feet is approximately equal to 121.92 centimeters. Here's another example of where we're going to need to do a conversion within the system first and then convert between the systems. So we have 2.5 kilometers and we want that in yards. Once again, we don't have kilometers and yards together, so we need to move to a system, a unit that we can get between those two. So I like doing the metric conversion, so I'm going to do that first. So if I have 2.5 kilometers, I need to go down 3 steps. So since I'm going down 3 steps, I am multiplying by 1,000 to get to meters. And I want to get meters because that goes along with yards. So that's 2,500 meters. So if I have 2,500 meters, and I know that there are 0.9144 meters per yard, I'm going to divide by 0.9144 meters. Once again, when our units here are matching, you'll notice we're dividing. Okay, so then if I multiply that out, I get divide. And when I divide that, I get 2,730. 34.03 yards. Again, we don't normally like to use decimals in yards, but also it really doesn't work out very nicely with kilometers and stuff. Okay. So those are just a few examples of how we convert between the two systems. Hopefully you found that helpful.